What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Destiny 2 Black Armory video. Today, so we'll be going over the 2.1.4 changes to the Warlock Supers in this video. I'm basically just going to read off what changed and just what basically comes to the top of my head. This isn't scripted or anything like that. So first up, let's go over the Solar subclass. So this is for top and bottom tree Dawnblade here. So the Daybreak Super got a damage buff to minor, major, and mini bosses by 43%, and the duration got a buff by 3 seconds. Now, in my opinion, this is more of a PvE buff, obviously. Like, you basically get way more damage now, especially with this thing, which is pretty cool. It's not that it was, like, super bad in PvE, it's just it wasn't viable versus other supers, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather use, like, a Nova Bomb or, like, a Stormcaller versus the Daybreak because, number one, you couldn't do as much damage to enemies, which, especially if you're rocking, I'm pretty sure it's bottom tree, where it's like Everlasting Flame or something. Basically, every time you get a kill, you get super energy back. Like, it's pretty hard to get kills if you're trying to kill, like, majors or mini bosses. Like, minor adds, you probably don't have a problem with, but I think this is more of a PvE buff. Obviously, in PvP, this is, like, the 7th column super for the Warlock, especially with you getting your super back. And now that I got a duration buff for 3 seconds, I mean, it's pretty good. It basically just made the super a lot more, I would say, viable in PvE, and it just made it a little better for PvP. Going over the Arc subclass, this is for top and bottom tree Stormcaller. So the Storm Trance chaining buff actually got buffed by 1 target. So the chaining thing, it used to hit 3 targets, now it hits 4. Again, this is more of a PvE buff in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Like, you can take it however you want. I think Stormcaller in PvP is very underutilized right now, especially the buff that it got back in year 1. Like, it's not that it's bad, it's just there's a lot of shutdown supers now, and you can get dropped out of that thing very, very easily. But I think if you like running something like Crown of Tempest for PvE, like, this is going to be pretty freaking good, especially since you could kill essentially what would be 1 more target. I understand it's only 1 more target, but technically your efficiency when it comes to, like, ad clearing is going to be a lot better. Now let's go over the Void subclass. First up, let's go over the Nova Warp nerfs. Yes, it was all nerfs, no buffs, clearly. This might make people a little salty, but let's go over it. So the movement speed got a nerf while you're charging. When you're charging up the blast or whatever you want to call it. Charging costs more energy now, so basically there's no incentive for you to hold it for a long time. The duration of the super got decreased by 6.8 seconds. That is a lot. There was a resistance nerf, but that was only by like 2%, so we can disregard that. And there was a guardian damage nerf in PvP by 27%. That is a lot of nerfs for one super. Now, I actually used the super in PvP in 2.1.4, and it's not that it's like really bad. I shouldn't say it. The super is still viable, if you know what I mean. You just can't go around wiping the enemy team 2 times in a row because the super would last forever and you can move super fast. So I think, in my opinion, they shouldn't have done all these nerfs. Like, I think they should have kept the movement speed portion of it, and maybe like the charging maybe not make it so much to where it costs a lot, but decrease the duration of the super. It was one of the longest lasting supers in the game, which was pretty insane. So I actually used to use this thing a lot in PvE just because it has really good neutral game, right? Basically, you have a grenade that turns into a shotgun. All of your abilities give you health back and your energy back for your grenade and your melee and your rift. So it has really good neutral game in PvE, and I really don't feel like using it in PvE. And going back to PvP for a moment again, super good neutral game. Like, I'll tell you what, if you're going up against people that like aren't in supers and stuff like that, you can still wipe a bunch of teammates out and stuff like that. And it's not that it feels horrible, it just feels worse than it did, and it kind of sucks a little bit. I think I agree with the Guardian damage nerf because I could take out supers with like 1 hit with this thing, and that was pretty insane. So I agree with that nerf, that's fine. The charging costs more energy. Maybe they should lessen that just a little bit. The duration, I say if you're going to keep that duration, you need to, again, like I said, you need to lessen the cost charge for when you're holding it down. And I think they should have just kept the movement speed. It's supposed to be a Nova Warp, not a Nova crawl. You know what I mean? You're supposed to warp through areas, not literally just crawl through them. So that was my opinion on that. Alright, let's go over the Nova Bomb. So first up, we have bottom tree, which is the Attunement of Hunger. This is the one where you can eat your grenade. So the Vortex Nova Bomb actually got a detonation buff from 900 to 1200, which is pretty good. You know, you have a better Nova Bomb. That's always cool. Plus the vortex portion of it, the tick damage actually got a buff from 10 to 23 damage per tick, which means you can actually kill people inside of it. Now I know a lot of people really don't use this Nova Bomb, I would say skill tree, a lot unless they're doing some solo activity and they have to have the Devour perk active just to survive. I know a lot of people like to do that. But in PvP, I would say like the only thing that really, I mean, yes, the Nova Bomb has got a damage buff. That's great. You can actually drop a super, and that's cool and all. But I've actually dodged a lot of these Nova Bombs, so I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I think it's the same thing with Nova Warp. Like, it has a really good neutral game. Like, if you can survive and keep Devour active, like just keep chaining that, it's gonna work in your favor a lot. You know what I mean? Going over the best buff by far, and this is what I made on my Warlock now. So this is going over the Attunement of Hunger, which is the Slow-Mo Bomb. So the Cataclysm Nova Bomb got a detonation buff from 900 to 1500, so that's freaking huge now. The destination radius, destination? I think I meant detonation. The detonation radius actually got a buff from 8 to 10 meters now, which is pretty cool. The Seeker damage, the little Seekers that come off, actually got a damage buff from 205 to 300 now. And you get improved Seeker turn radius, which I don't know if this affects the actual the Nova Bomb itself, but I've seen this thing like yeet around corners, which is pretty freaking insane. And it fixed the premature detonation. I don't know if that's because like it would hit a corner before it actually hit somebody while it was chasing somebody. I really didn't experience it a lot. It doesn't help that I didn't really use it a lot. But I mean, I didn't really see a problem with it. Basically, the Slow-Mo Bomb is freaking boss now, especially in PvE. You gotta rock Skull of Dire Hamkara. It's like the Orpheus rig for the Voidwalker, right? Anytime you get a kill with the Nova Bomb, it gives you super back. The higher tier adds you kill, you get more super back, right? So you could kill probably like 7 people, not 7 people, I'll say 7 PvE enemies, and you'll automatically get your super back 100%. Like, this thing is freaking insane. I really like it. And in PvP, I don't think you're going to be able to use Skull of Dire Hamkara to, like, the exotic itself is only really viable when you're actually using the super and you actually have to hit somebody with the super. But I was actually using this in the Crimson Doubles, and this is why it took so long, because I wanted to be able to shut down some supers, especially people rocking things like, like Hammers or Striker Titan, Arc Strider, stuff like that. I can shut them down with the Nova Bomb because it's freaking huge, and nobody can stop it unless like you magically somehow run away fast enough before it detonates. But I really like the Slow-Mo Bomb now. You definitely gotta try it out in PvE, especially if you main Warlock. Like, this is my new main whenever I go do solo activities, just because of how insane the Nova Bomb is. We're now at the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, but there are 3 things I want to go over. First up, my clan, the D1 Fire Team, is looking for active players in the Destiny community. Our members play all sorts of activities from casual PvE and PvP to the endgame content. If you're actively playing Destiny 2 and want the benefits of a bigger clan, the link to join is below. It'll say clan link. All you have to do is request to join, and myself or one of the admins will approve you. If you're with a smaller clan and want the benefits of a bigger clan, and you have, like, let's say like 7 to 10 members, I'm just using that as an example, but if you want to come over, just send me a message on any of my social media links and we'll try to get something set up. Number 2, if you want to know how to support me, there's a link below that says best way to support me. That'll take you to a 4-minute video. If you want to go check that out, that would be awesome. But if you don't want to do that, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and all that good jazz if you want to do any of those things. Lastly, we have a link to the community Discord below. Just a heads up, we're looking for anyone with moderator experience to potentially run the Discord. I know for myself, I'm more of a player instead of a manager, so if you have some moderator experience, just send me a message and we'll try to get something set up. I know for myself, I'm on Xbox, but if you guys would like to talk or chat with me, Discord is going to be the best way to do those things. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time.